Well, hello again. One or two of you have said you quite like the driving videos, especially when the camera's pointing through the windscreen and not at me. So I thought I might do one today. I'll probably still do a video on Sunday as usual, but there's only really sort of reverberations from people commenting on this age of disclosure nonsense. And there's quite a few people saying that they think that, you know, after this movie has been shown, Trump will disclose, and they're trying to bring pressure on Trump to disclose. David Grusch was saying, oh, he could be the greatest president in US history if he just discloses this, that ETs are visiting the Earth. And of course David Grusch doesn't know ETs are visiting the Earth. He's told us in his own words he's got no personal experience with extraterrestrial technology or biology. He just chooses to believe what he's been told by others. Recently he's been saying he's been partially cleared to see some partial data, completely meaningless of course. It's probably because so many people are saying, well, where's the evidence? We're hearing lots of stories, but we're not seeing any evidence that the piffle peddlers have got to sort of try and get it a bit closer to the line. Well, actually, you know, I still haven't seen any technology, you know, any tangible evidence, but I have seen some data, some partial data, and I've seen one or two, maybe more actually. There's probably 3 or 4 YouTube channels that are saying that, that there are rumours. Now, Coulthart started this, I think. There are rumours that Trump will disclose as soon as this Age of Disclosure movie, science fiction film, I can't bring myself to call it a documentary, has been out in the public arena and has been viewed a few times, you know, or as many times as possible. And then, of course, the piffle peddlers are encouraging people to go and watch this science fiction film because they want to convince the general public that aliens are coming here and crashing here and their technology is being reverse engineered, even though that is clearly not the case. They say it's going back 80 years. They're talking about Roswell. Roswell was not the crash of an alien spacecraft. And they seem to think that because the more members of the public that watch this movie, the more people there are going to be that will put pressure on Trump to disclose. Now, as I've said before, why would it be up to Trump? Why not up to the President of the UN for a start? There'll be many nations involved, or they tell us there's many nations involved, supposedly. But what's going to happen is, what I think may happen is if lots and lots of people are saying the same thing, you know, Trump really should disclose, and there's pressure being put on Trump to disclose, I think what may very well happen is someone's going to say to him, look, Mr. President, you're going to have to clarify this situation. You know, make an official statement. And that official statement will not be aliens are coming here and crashing here. And they've been doing it for a very long time, and we've been reverse engineering their technology for 80 years. That's not what he's going to say, because that's not what's happening. The Pentagon have officially said there is zero tangible evidence of extraterrestrials visiting this planet. There is no recovered technology. There is no recovered biology. Trump can't say anything else, because that's the truth. So they might get a statement from Trump, but Trump will say exactly what the Pentagon said. You know, contrary to popular belief, there is no alien technology on Earth. There's no alien biology on Earth. We are not reverse engineering alien spacecraft. That if he makes a statement at all, that's what Trump will disclose. That it's all science fiction rubbish. It always has been. Now, Trump has said on at least 2 television interviews that I have seen that personally he doesn't believe in aliens. So that tells me that nobody from any agency, department, compartment, private military company, representative of any program from any foreign government has ever told Trump aliens are coming here. Because if they told him aliens were coming here, he would have to say, well, you know, I've been told they're coming here, or we have evidence that they're coming here. But that's not the case, is it? And of course, you know, someone telling Trump that they're coming here is meaningless. I saw Trump the other day on the TV, and he said, well, you know, some good people, very good people, say they think there's something to it. He said, but personally, I can't remember exactly what he said now. He said, personally, it doesn't interest him. He has no interest in it. Now, I think if there was some super secret program that had, you know, millions and millions of dollars or trillions of dollars being spent on it, it would interest him, wouldn't it? He would be interested in finding out where this money's going. And he's got people in Congress probably telling him, we need to get to the bottom of this. We're being told this is happening. But they're being told it's happening by the same people that have been saying it's happening for a very long time, the same people that have never ever produced a scrap of tangible evidence to prove what they're saying. So Trump said it's not his thing in one interview. 2 interviews that I've seen personally, he says, personally, I don't believe in aliens. That's Trump's actual words. So if these people keep pushing and pushing and pushing for Trump to say something, to make a statement, that is the statement he'll make. He'll repeat exactly what the Pentagon said, that there is no tangible evidence of extraterrestrials visiting this planet, or crashing on this planet, or us reverse engineering any of their recovered technology. That's what he'll say. Now the big question is, once he says that, will all the fanboys, and bear in mind there's an awful lot of people out there making money out of this, you know, keynote speaker fees, doing TV shows, writing books, going on podcasts and all this sort of stuff. Are they going to accept that? Are they going to say, well, you know, if Trump says it's not happening, then it really isn't happening, you know? We've never seen any evidence, and they'll tell you that. Ask any of them if they have any personal involvement with recovered extraterrestrial technology or biology, and they will say no, they haven't. I saw Lou Elizondo. He's fading away, isn't he, Lou Elizondo? I don't know what he's doing. His tattoos are going to look like they're on deflated balloons. That's the trouble with beefing yourself up and getting tats. You know, if you can't be bothered to keep going to the gym, you shrink back down to your normal genetic size and you look like a deflated balloon. Anyway, that's an aside. And she said, what do you have first-hand experience of? The interviewer said to Lou Elizondo, and he said, well, I read ATIP. He didn't explain that ATIP wasn't an official program. It wasn't an official US government program. You know, it was a hobby program that Elizondo made up. When they canned ORSAP, which was a farce in itself, where they gave Robert Bigelow, $22 million to investigate his own ranch, and where Stratton says he picked up an evil poltergeist hitchhiker that followed him home and then turned his house into a paranormal Disneyland. You know, people like Farah believe this nonsense. You know, so Elizondo started wriggling and went off at a tangent because he couldn't say, this is what I have first-hand experience of extraterrestrial technology and biology, because he hasn't. because nobody has. So, oh yeah, well, I ran ATIP, and then he starts waffling and going into a monologue, and I think that was probably designed to prevent any more questions coming at him. But I think more and more of these interviewers are becoming more critical. Whereas before they just sit back and let them talk. Now I think they're being challenged, these people, and quite rightly, of course. You can't make a statement like extraterrestrials are coming here and crashing here, offer no tangible evidence, and then keep peddling that same story over and over again. And that's what we're seeing. Grusch is embellishing a bit more now. He's partially cleared. He can't say he's cleared, because if he says that, he's screwed. He's going to tell us everything. But he could tell Arrow everything at any time. They're cleared to hear any testimony, to look into any program, any compartment. That's why Grusch won't go near Arrow. That's why none of them will, because they know Arrow will check it out, and they'll be found to be science fiction bullshitters overnight. It's obvious. Arrow kept asking Grusch to go in, and he refused, and they said, okay, we'll come to you. They arranged to go and meet Grusch somewhere, and he didn't turn up. Just like he didn't turn up for Luna's skiff. Just like Elizondo didn't turn up for Luna's skiff. Just like Melon didn't turn up for Luna's skiff. All of these people are bullshitters. It should be obvious to anybody with an IQ bigger than a cheese and pickle sandwich. I very much doubt Trump has been following this. He says he's got no interest in it. Personally, he doesn't believe in aliens. So, them expecting Trump to come forward and tell them what they want to hear is just not going to happen. I've got more chance of winning the Powerball Lotto every week for a year than there is of Trump coming forward and disclosing this planet is being visited by extraterrestrials. It's just complete and utter nonsense. So if they keep pushing, and they keep pushing, and they keep pushing, Trump may very well make a statement, and he will repeat verbatim, probably, the statement from the Pentagon that there is no tangible evidence of extraterrestrials visiting this planet, crashing on this planet, or any of their technology being recovered and reverse engineered. There is no alien biology on Earth. It's all science fiction rubbish. Now, once he stands up and says that, what will happen then? I've said it before, this subject is circling the drain. They're desperately trying to keep it afloat with more science fiction nonsense. They're pushing the edge of the envelope. They're pushing the edge of the bullshit envelope. Grusch in particular. So what are they going to say when Trump says it's all rubbish? Are they going to accept it, or are they going to say, well, what do you expect him to say? It's all part of the cover-up, Buy my book and I'll tell you all about it. Come to one of my talks, I'll show you the picture of a reflection of a chandelier. But I'll tell you it's an alien mothership, because that's what you want to hear. Because you will part with your money to hear this science fiction drivel. So I think that's what's going to happen. If they keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing, Trump will make a statement. He'll repeat pretty much verbatim what the Pentagon said. It's all science fiction bullshit. And then the piffle peddlers will be back to square one. They're going to have to say, well, it's a cover-up. They can't say anything else, can they? If they want to continue on the talk circuit, on the podcasts, making TV shows, getting keynote speaker fees, selling books, they are going to have to say it's all part of the cover-up. What do you expect him to say? They keep Trump out of the loop. They're all screaming for Trump to disclose, but as soon as he says it's all rubbish, they'll say, well, Trump wouldn't be read into the program. It's pathetic, isn't it? It's worse than pathetic. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed a little bit of scenery while I was having a bit of a rant there. But I've just seen so much of this, you know, Grusch blowing smoke up Trump's rear end. Others saying, you know, Coulthart saying he's heard a rumour. Oh, but it's not from any kind of official source, you know. So what he's saying is, the people, the bullshitters that have been bullshitting about all this rubbish for years, if not decades, probably people like Hal Puthoff and Stratton and Eric Davis and who's the other guy, Lekatsky. You know, they've probably told him that there's a rumour that Trump is going to disclose. And Coulthart says, well, you know, I've heard a rumour now. I don't know it's true. But, you know, as soon as this film is released, Trump may disclose. Yeah, Trump will disclose, all right. He'll disclose it's all complete and utter rubbish. That's what's going to happen if they keep pushing. Anyway, I'm not going to repeat all that. So I hope you've enjoyed the view out of the windscreen. As you can see, the traffic here in Western Australia is horrendous. I have to tolerate this every day. Every day of the week. So, as always, if you've struggled through the video all the way to this point, many thanks for watching. And maybe I'll catch you again.